So as I have mentioned already in the previous lecture, this is the lecture number 5 in the series of Unit 2, Electrical Lighting. So in this lecture, we will be discussing about incandescent lamp, fluorescent lamp, CFL lamps, and LED lamps. Okay, according to syllabus, we have only discussion of white LED lamps or LED lamps. So, but prior to LED lamps, I thought of having a discussion regarding the journey of lamps, so that you will understand the different lamps in the examination papers. Previously they have asked the questions regarding fluorescent lamp, incandescent lamp also, so that it all these things will be covered. Even though those are not there in the syllabus, as a part of syllabus they have not mentioned incandescent lamp, fluorescent lamp, CFL lamps, but since the questions are asked in the examinations, so I am repeating them discussing here. Okay, so this is the incandescent bulb, which you have already known. Okay, so this bulb is traditionally having some important parts. So this is the cap of this incandescent lamp. Then you can see the so this is the cap of this incandescent bulb. Then you can see the LED leads. Okay, then you can see the filament. Here you have seen the filament here. Then this is your glass bulb. Okay, and these are the supporting leads. So when this incandescent bulb, which is made up, the core element of this incandescent bulb is the filament. Okay, so the filament has some important properties. That should is that it should have high melting point, it should have high specific resistance, and it should be low temperature coefficient, and it should be highly ductile. Okay, so these are the key important properties that the filament of incandescent bulb must have. Okay, so it should be having high melting point, which means that this filament is going to be operated at a higher temperature. Okay, as you know, initially if you are subjecting the filament or a metal wire uh, to pass current through it, initially it gets only heated up. If at higher temperatures only, it starts emitting light. Okay, so to emit light, so that means this incandescent, in the incandescent bulb, the filament must be operating at a higher temperature. So this temperature will be in the range of around 2000 degrees centigrade. Okay, so that much temperature, with that much temperature our filament must be operating. So that is the incandescent bulb, the first Edison bulb we call it as. Okay, so the basic working principle of an incandescent bulb is whenever an electric current is passed through a fine metallic wire, it raises the temperature of wire, and at low temperatures, as I told, only heat is produced, but at higher temperatures light start radiating. Okay, so this principle is used to develop the filament lamp. Okay, so as the filament lamp is consisting of a thin wire or a fine wire, which of highly resistive in nature, and it is placed in a glass bulb, evacuated glass bulb. So the filament is made up of tungsten, and to improve the performance of this lighting, some chemical inert gases like argon or nitrogen gases are filled. And as I already informed to you that these lamps operate at a temperature of 2500 degrees centigrade. Okay. So the basic properties that are required for a filament lamp, it can be operated at high temperature. So when it is to be operated at high temperature, it should have high melting point. And second one is it should have high specific resistance. So which means because of the higher specific resistance, it produces more heat. Then it should have low temperature coefficient. So which means that the filament resistance may not change with respect to the operating temperature. Okay, so as we know, temperature relation between temperature and resistance, as the according to Ohm's law, when the temperature is constant, okay, the resistance relation between temperature and resistance R naught is equal to R into 1 plus alpha T. So from there you can see the variation of resistance with respect to temperature. So the material with which this filament wire is made up should have low temperature coefficient, so that its resistance will not change much even though the temperature is raised. Okay, that is what low temperature coefficient mean. Then it should have low vapor pressure, which means that this whatever the gas we are making, argon gas or nitrogen gas that is present inside the bulb, should not be vaporized quickly. So that is why it should have low vapor pressure. And last but not least, it should be highly ductile. Okay, so you know the meaning of ductile. Okay, so it is easily bend or stretchable. Okay, so this should withstand mechanical vibrations, so that we can bend the wire to the shape required for us. Okay, so these are the properties of the filament that is used in your incandescent bulb. Characteristics of incandescent lamp. It is luminous intensity. The luminous intensity is directly proportional to V power n, where n is equal to 5 for tungsten. Okay, but if you are going to use nichrome, the value of n is different. If you are going to use any other material, the value of n is different. So luminous intensity I is proportional to V power n. So as we know, the lumen per watt increases with increase in temperature and voltage. So this the life of incandescent lamp decreases with increase of temperature. So the average life of incandescent bulb is normally 1000 working hours. Okay, it is 1000 working hours, not 1000 hours. It is 1000 working hours. Okay, so we should not calculate. Working hours are different from normal hours. Why? Because the lamp is present, and if it is not made on, so that is uh, number of hours. If the lamp is only in operating condition, then we call it as working hours. So in general, the normal life of incandescent bulb is around 1000 working hours. Okay. So then comes the fluorescent bulb or fluorescent tube. Okay. So as you know, fluorescent tube, this is the animated uh, version of a fluorescent tube. Here I am showing you the fluorescent tube with choke. If choke is not there also, I will try to show you in a video to you if it is possible. So fluorescent tube is a low pressure mercury vapor lamp. It is a low pressure mercury vapor lamp. So this fluorescent tube consists of a glass tube uh, with a 25 diameter, and its length will be in the range of 0.6 meter to 1.5 meter. So this fluorescent tube contains again argon gas uh, at low pressures. Okay, and this uh, fluorescent tube consists of two ends with the two electrodes coated with some electron emission material. Okay, so this electron emission material, so you can see here the electrons are coming inside and flowing around it. Okay, so as I mentioned, it's a low pressure mercury vapor lamp. Okay, so it consists of a glass tube of 425 in dia, and its length is in the range of 0.6 to 1.5 meter. Okay, these points we have discussed already. So look at a small video here. So as you have seen in the video, that if choke is not there, so what happens with if presence in the absence of choke? Okay, so a choke is connected in series with the tube, so which acts like a ballast, and it produces a high voltage at starting and creates a glow in the tube. Okay, so during running condition, the same choke absorbs the some supply voltage and remains at a value of 110 volts across the tube. Okay, so if choke is not present, then what happens is this absorption of uh, energy or supply voltage at the running condition will not happen, and because of the rise of the voltage, your tube lights will break down. Okay, so that the thing that happens. Okay, so that is the basic working video of a fluorescent lamp. So, okay, so this working video of fluorescent lamp is made available to you. You can see in different channels. So many types of workings are available. I thought this working lamp is quite good one. Okay, so you have YouTube, you can go through this working video. You can get this video from Edison Central. Okay, so Edison, Thomas Alva Edison, there is one Edison Central channel. So there you have a lot of old educational videos. So you can get this video from there. Okay, anyway, I will share this uh, in the channel also, so that you will be, if you want again, you can watch it. Okay, so this is the working. So during running condition, the same choke absorbs some supply voltage and remain at a voltage of 110 volts across the tube. So a capacitor is connected to improve the power factor. Okay, then what are the advantages of fluorescent lamp? So the advantage of fluorescent lamp is that the voltage fluctuation is very small in case of fluorescent tubes. Okay, so voltage fluctuation does not affect the output light. So you don't find any variations in the output light because of the presence of the starters is available. Now and all there are uh, yeah, there are tube lights without starters also they are coming now. Okay, the luminous efficiency is more as the length of the lamp. I mean that rod is more. Okay, so that is one more advantage in case of fluorescent tubes. Then this gives light which is white in color, so which is like almost close to the natural light. So that is another advantage of fluorescent tube. And the heat that is radiated by this fluorescent lamp is very very negligible. So that is why we don't find eyes getting some disturbance or some sort of if you study in under incandescent bulb sometime your eyes will start getting tears. Okay, but in case of fluorescent tube, if you are starting studying for so many number of hours also, your eyes will feel comfortable. They don't get any disturbance or discomfort because this light is very close to the natural light, and the amount of heat that is radiated by this fluorescent tube is very very minimal. Okay, so light is more than the temperature. Okay, so that is the advantage of a fluorescent tube. There is a disadvantage with fluorescent tube. The maintenance cost of this fluorescent tube is high. Okay, so its brightness is less and its initial cost is more. So what is this initial cost is more? Suppose in the olden days, incandescent bulbs were used to be at a 10 rupees, 12 rupees, 15 rupees is the maximum for incandescent bulb of 10 watts. Okay, but whereas if you want to purchase a fluorescent tube which is used to cost around 60 70 rupees, and the choke setup altogether it is around 200 rupees. Okay, so which was costly. Initial cost was high. Even after that also maintenance cost is also high. If the bulb is gone, that means bulb will be damaged or gone out only when the case of filament. Okay, so sudden high voltage comes, filament wire will break out, and again if they buy a 10 rupees new bulb it will come. But in case of fluorescent tube, there may be a problem with the choke, there may be problem with the bulb, there may be problem with the capacitor, there may be problem with the starter. So all these so many constraints are there, maintenance constraints are there for a fluorescent tube. Okay, so that is why it is its initial cost is more as well as its maintenance cost is also more. So then comes the next version, that is compact fluorescent lamp. Okay, this compact fluorescent lamp is basically a low pressure mercury vapor lamp, again having two electrodes. Okay, it consists of same electron emissive material that is placed in a glass tube. Okay, so now if you look at this, it is having the shape of the incandescent bulb, but the property that is of emitting light is from your fluorescent tube. Okay, so here the tube is coated externally with some fluorescent material. Okay, so in the form of some powder. So that is why the illumination again with CFL also white. So in this tube, one drop of mercury and argon gas is filled at low pressure. Okay, so since CFL is also a low pressure mercury vapor lamp. Okay, so nothing but it's a combination of incandescent bulb and as well as your fluorescent tube. So 18 watt CFL is equivalent to 75 watts of incandescent bulb. Okay, so that is the major advantage. So with the 18 watt bulb, you can have an equivalence of 75 watt bulb. So which means the input power consumption is going to be very less. Okay, so with the less input, more lumens are going to come out. So that is why lumen per watt. Okay, so it is quite efficient when compared with the incandescent bulb. So advantages of your CFL bulbs is low energy consumption. It is having low maintenance cost. It starts instantaneously. There is a problem with another problem with the fluorescent tube is that uh, fluorescent lamp takes some time rather than incandescent bulb starts whenever the switch is on immediately. But in CFL also it starts instantaneously, and there is no heat production in case of CFL bulbs. So it has you can have CFL bulbs with different colors also, and the maximum life of your CFL lamp is around 10,000 working hours. So the CFL lamps are available with the different power ratings in the range of 18 watts, 11 watts, 9 watts, 24 watts, etc. And this CFL bulbs can be having single rod, double rod, and spiral rods are like that. Different shapes of CFLs are available. So as you know, this is the uh, journey of your uh, lamps from incandescent bulb to CFL bulb. So as you know, this is your incandescent bulb, then this is your metal halide bulb, and this is your CFL, and this is your LED bulb. Okay. So coming to the LED bulbs are the uh, newest type of bulbs. Okay. So they are the latest one of in the case of energy efficiency, and they are very uh, dominant nowadays because they produce white light with minimum inputs. So these are earlier these were be used for signboards, traffic signals. Okay, that this was the primary uh, application of LEDs, but later on now they are into every part of a lighting system because of the change in the technology, and the energy savings that is found with the LED lamps is between 82% to 93%. Okay, so 93% of energy efficiency is made possible because of the LED lamps. Why? Because also this longest lamp life hours. Okay, so the number of lamp life hours, as we have seen in case of incandescent bulb, they are 1,000 hours. In case of CFL bulbs, they are 10,000 hours. Now, in case of LED bulbs, they are some in the range of 1 lakh, 40,000 to 1 lakh hours. Okay, so this is the range of life of LED lamp. So once you buy an LED lamp, okay, so the maximum possible life of an LED lamp is in the range of 40,000 hours to 1 lakh hours, 1 lakh working hours. Okay, so that is why these LED lamps are so dominant. Their contribution is increasing day by day because of this longest life. an LED lamp consists of two semiconducting materials. One is P-type material, other one is N-type material. So these uh, two types of materials, by connecting P-type material and N-type material, a PN junction is going to be formed. So the conduction, transfer of electrons or the holes. That is the main reason for generation of light in case of LED lamps. Okay. So as you know, the mostly the conduction region at the junction, the majority of the carriers will be moving around either electrons or holes. So this produces heat as well as light. So that light we are going to capture here. So this is the basic diagram. So P-type material, N-type material, we are having holes and electrons. So light is generated. Either electrons start moving from N region or hole starts moving from P region. Again here one more animated video of LED. Just, just give me 1 second. This video is taking some time, I think, to load. Yes. I hope you are able to see the video.
Sir, voice is not coming, sir.
No problem. No need to voice. Voice will not come. It is only my voice only.
Okay, sir.
So combination of holes and electrons release light. So with that, this is the basic principle. So one hole and one electron combines to give a called photon. So this photon energy determines the frequency and color. You can have different colors of LEDs. Okay. So red color, yellow color. So these all basic principle of LED. This is from basic photovoltaic cell. How your LED works. Okay. So as you know, when the PN junction is forward biased, the majority carriers are either electrons or holes. So that starts moving across the junction. So when these move from their regions and start recombining across the depletion region, so what happens is free electrons will be remaining in the conduction band energy levels, and the holes will be remaining in the valency band of energy level. And these electrons at this energy level, which is higher than the holes, okay. So as the electrons are more mobile than holes, they start in movement of electrons, we say current conduction due to electrons is more. So during this recombination of electrons and holes, some portion of energy is going to be dissipated in the form of light and heat. Okay, so you are going to consider light, so which is called as electroluminescence. Okay, the phenomena in which light emitted from the semiconducting material under the influence of electric field is called as electroluminescence. So with this phenomena, your LED light is going to come out. So the LEDs have the property of low energy consumption. These were the LEDs that were primarily seen in the very beginning stages. They were found only with our TV remotes and all. Later on, these LEDs have been transformed to this white color LEDs. So, which means these LED bulbs have the property. They used to have the three property. One is on mode, another one is dim mode, and third one is bright mode. Okay. So these used to have the first and primary LEDs, LED bulbs. These are the LED bulbs that were replaced with the traditional incandescent bulbs. But the power consumption by these LEDs, suppose if one LED is gone in this, because all these are in series connection, they used to be. So if any problem with one LED, then the whole this LED system used to be useless. Okay. So and also their power consumption is very very low, but these have a lifetime of in the range of 50,000 to 1 lakh hours, as I already mentioned to you. These are in small in size. They have faster switching, greater reliability, and dimming and cycling. They have, that means cycling in the sense they can be operated in such a way that dim on and bright on like that. So that process is possible only with this type of LED, not the LED I have shown earlier. So that is a single LED bulb. They don't have any option of dimming and brightening and all. This type of LED system has a option of dimming and brightening. A comparison of different lamps. Okay, so as I have mentioned here, in case of incandescent bulb, their lumen range is in the range of 8 to 18. The average value of lumen per watt is going to be 14. Their color rendering index. So what is meant by this color rendering means a representation of colors. Okay, so that is very good or excellent. These incandescent bulbs are usually used in homes and general lighting systems and restaurants. Earlier, now these things and all changing. Okay, now you don't find much incandescent bulb, but these were used in homes and restaurants. Okay, so the average life of incandescent bulbs was 1000 hours. Next, coming to the fluorescent lamps. These fluorescent lamps were in the range of 46 to 60 lumen per watt, and the average is 50 watt. So the color index of fluorescent lamp was very good with respect to coating. That means fluorescent coating, mercury coating, like that. Then the typical application of this fluorescent lamps was used especially in offices, shops, hospitals, etc. Their average life was 5000 hours. Then comes compact fluorescent lamps, CFL bulbs. So their lumen per watt is in the range of same 40 to 70, and their average is 60. So fluorescent lamp and CFL lamps, their average lumen per watt is nearer range 46 to 60 and 40 to 70. Okay, their color rendering index is also very good, and these are also used in hotels, shops, offices, etc. And their average life is around in the range of 8,000 to 10,000 hours. Okay, then we have halogen lamps, high pressure sodium vapor lamps, low pressure sodium vapor lamps. Okay, so these are all used. Of course, these are not there in the syllabus as a consideration. Just I have made a comparison so that these type of lamps are all present. Halogen lamps are especially used for flood lighting and stadium exhibition, some monument exhibitions and all. Okay, nowadays all those things, all these type of things are going to be replaced. And high pressure mercury vapor lamps are generally used in factories outer area highlighting, okay, outdoor lighting. So those things and all were used for high pressure mercury vapor lamps. And then you can see low pressure vapor lamps. These can be used for tunnels, canals, and street lighting. So their average life was in the range of 6,000 12,000. So by looking at all these lamps, different lamps. Now your LED lamps are in the range of life of the LED lamps are in the range of 40 watt, 40,000 to 1 lakh hours. Okay, and this LED lamp has the range. You can have LED lamps at 7 watts, 9 watts. Okay, so they have the lowest possible lumen per wattage also with LED lamps. Okay. So with this today's class, we are going to discuss up to only LED lamps. In the coming class, we will be discussing about conductive polymers,